Hello. We're going to continue on in our study of Perseus, and where we left off last time was discussing what is this item here. And as I kind of scrolled up and down here, got some interesting answers on this, but it's actually a mirror. And you say, wow, why would you have a mirror with Medusa on the back of it? And, a variety of theories on that. Maybe it keeps people from stealing your mirror. They see that and it scares them off. Or my personal theory is you look at the mirror on the one side, you see yourself. Let's say you're having a bad hair day or whatever. You turn it around, you see Medusa, and you say, well, it could always be worse. Anyway, whichever way it goes, that's what that thing is. All right, so story one, of course, was that Medusa was always a Gorgon and just happens to be the mortal one and that kind of thing. Story B, I find a little bit more interesting. And in this story, she was originally a beautiful woman with lovely hair. And she showed, in fact, you can probably guess this, some hubris about her hair, comparing it to Athena's. And we've talked about this maybe a couple times in the course, that Athena sometimes seems particularly concerned about her beauty. And we kind of look at that and say, well, that's odd since she's an eternal virgin. But that's kind of how it is. So anyway, Medusa compares her hair to Athena's, and then she ends up having a little fling with Poseidon in Athena's temple. And in some variations of this story, Poseidon rapes her in Athena's temple, but in some it's a consensual thing. But in any event, the hubris, the having relations in a temple of an eternal virgin, that's just too much. And Medusa gets transformed into a Gorgon for her wicked ways. And this one's kind of interesting, compared to the picture we saw earlier, the picture we saw of Medusa with the mirror. This one you kind of get the feel of, okay, this is someone who was beautiful at one point, but then the hubris about her hair, now all of a sudden there are snakes in her hair, so punishment for that excessive pride. So Perseus had no idea where Medusa lived. So we're back to this, right? He says he'll go get the head of Medusa for Polydectes as a wedding gift, but he doesn't know where she is, and he has no idea how he's going to get her head. So anyway, he's kind of wandering about, and he's helped in his cluelessness by Hermes and Athena. And the Athena part shouldn't surprise you, since she was already offended by Medusa. They told Perseus to go to the Graii. Now, anybody who's wandered on the Latin train a little bit, and I say, hey, what are these two things? AE, each one, the A and the E coming together to make one sound. And if you said it's a diphthong, you're correct. And in this one, there's a double diphthong, Graii, which for us just kind of translates as the gray ladies. Now, they were the three sisters of the Gorgons, and they could help him with their whereabouts. Now, these gray women, contrary to the Disney Hercules movie, these are the three sisters who share one tooth and one eye among them. And Perseus snatches the one eye in order to get the information that he wants, right? He says, I need this, and they're not really forthcoming, so he reaches out when they pass in the eye around, he grabs the eye. And funny story, but better told in class than on a screencast. So the gray ladies, they tell him, hey, you've got to go to the nymphs of the north, and the nymphs of the north will supply you with certain necessities. Now, I've got a picture here, and this one is one in a series of much more modern paintings on the Perseus story, and I really kind of like some of the series of this one. But there he is, and there they are, passing the eye, passing the tooth. I'll generally ask classes, which would you rather share with somebody, an eye or a tooth? People generally go with the eye, in my experience. So we will stop there for now, and we will pick it up when next we meet.